Now that New York Comic Con 2025 has come and gone, it's time to talk about the next possible convention that Funko will be releasing exclusives for, which will likely be in February 2026 with TargetCon. Even though I've never really considered TargetCon as an actual convention, but more of a glorified day for Target exclusives. But they do have their own fancy sticker, so I guess it technically is a con at the same time. So I'm DK Wrestler, and today I'm going to be making my Funko Pop predictions for TargetCon 2026. And I'll be making a total of 6 predictions on pops I think will happen for TargetCon 2026 based off of trends I've noticed from previous Target Cons. And if you end up enjoying this type of content, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, but nonetheless, let's kick off with that first prediction. And for my first prediction for TargetCon 2026, I have a Dr. Eggman and Lex Luthor Death Egg robot for the Sonic the Hedgehog DC Comics mashup. Now, recently we did have the release of the Sonic the Hedgehog DC Comics crossover pops with characters like Knuckles as Superman, Shadow as Batman, Sonic as the Flash, and a few others I can't think of off the top of my head. And I had to do a little bit of research of potential other characters that were a part of this mashup since I haven't read any of the comic books that go along with this series. Besides the fact that I did find out that at the end of the final issue of this series, Lex Luthor and Dr. Eggman actually team up together, and you do see a Death Egg robot in the background with the colors of Lex Luthor. So it makes me think that we're gonna get one more pop for this mashup, and it makes sense because of it appearing at the end and not throughout the series that this would be a TargetCon exclusive rather than a regular Target exclusive, just like the other pops we've seen for this set. And if we even look at last year's selection of TargetCon exclusives, there was the mashup of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Masters of the Universe set with He-Man and Skeletor. So that could be a trend that continues with this TargetCon as well by having a mashup series of pops, which I think would make sense for Sonic the Hedgehog and DC Comics, two licensors that in the past also have had a lot of TargetCon exclusives. So we could just get two of these big licenses mashed up together as one particular release of a pop for TargetCon 2026. My second prediction for TargetCon 2026 is a gold metallic mind flayer from Stranger Things. Now, within the next month as I'm recording this video will be the release of season 5 of Stranger Things, which has a lot of people excited about this season since it is going to be the final one, and Funko have recently announced a set of pops for that 5th and final season with characters that have already been made as well as some brand new characters that haven't been made, both within commons and exclusives. And within those season 5 releases, we've had these limited edition releases of these gold metallic pops of both the Demogorgon exclusive to Walmart, and recently released was a gold metallic 11 that was exclusive to Target, all limited to 9,500 pieces. And the reason that I chose the Mind Flayer more specifically is the fact that both of these gold metallic pops were based off of moldings and character variants from the very first season of Stranger Things. And the Mind Flayer, of course, does play a big part in the first couple of seasons of Stranger Things, so I think it definitely makes sense here. Especially because we've only had one variant of Mind Flayer before with that weird colored variant, so there could be a chance that we get another Mind Flayer, and even though I'm not entirely confident that it's going to be specifically this pop as a TargetCon exclusive, I am going to be confident that there will be some sort of Stranger Things related pop for TargetCon 2026. But I don't think it's going to be anything related to season 5, considering that I think the earliest we're probably going to get something like that will be for San Diego Comic-Con in July. My third prediction for TargetCon 2026 will be a 10-inch Ninetales from Pokemon. Now, pretty much every single TargetCon besides, I believe, last year, we have always had a 10-inch variant of a Pokemon pop. We can even date back to 2021 when we had that terrible silver metallic Pikachu in a 10-inch form. There was the 10-inch Lucario for, I believe, 2022. Munchlax was released one year. I think 2024 was the year with the Umbreon. And even though the last couple of years for Comic-Cons, we've had 10-inch variants of Pokemon that are brand new and never had the 4-inch variant before, I don't think that's going to be the case for TargetCon, and that they're just going to take a pop from a recent wave and just make it a 10-inch pop. And I've noticed with the recent waves, instead of making a lot of 10-inch variants, they've only been taking one pop from each each wave of Pokemon and making it into a 10-inch variant, and I think with the wave that Ninetales is a part of, Ninetales will be the pop that ends up being a 10-inch pop. And so with that wave recently being released or just coming out, then it makes sense that with the timing of everything that it's probably going to be around the time of TargetCon that we could see a 10-inch Ninetales, and I wouldn't be surprised that it ends up being a TargetCon 2026 exclusive.
Shout out goes to Sentinel107 and Duh Unacceptable Viewer.
And the reason that they ended up getting a shout out is because they joined our YouTube channel membership, which only cost $1.99 a month. Not only do you get the shout out, but you do get lots of other perks, including early access to every single video and shorts that we produce on this channel. So definitely consider joining our YouTube channel membership. It will be greatly appreciated and will go a long way of helping out this channel a lot. So definitely consider it, but let's get right back to the video. My fourth prediction I have for TargetCon 2026 is a flocked variant of Crypto from the Superman movie. Now, one thing that I've noticed when it comes to TargetCon exclusives is taking advantage of a popular movie within the last year and making it an exclusive at TargetCon. 2025, we had Wade Wilson from Deadpool and Wolverine, which this one was a bit surprising because it's kind of a newer variant of a Deadpool and Wolverine pop instead of taking some sort of molding and adding a specification, which is why I have the flocked Crypto here, because of the fact that not a lot of times for TargetCon exclusives do we get brand new characters. It's usually taking a molding from the regular wave and then adding some sort of specification on top of it and making it a TargetCon exclusive. Heck, a couple of years ago with Stranger Things, we did have a Robin and Steve 2-pack, and it was two regular pops except they made it blacklight. So I could definitely see the same thing happening here, but at least with this pop, people would rather want a flocked variant of Crypto rather than the normal version that's a part of the common wave. So I think it is a pretty safe bet to have a Superman related pop come out for TargetCon, since it was a fairly popular movie throughout 2025. My fifth and second last prediction I have is a Doctor Doom pop comic covers for Fantastic Four. Now, there are definitely a couple of reasons based off of trends of why I chose this as a prediction. The first one being is that pretty much every single TargetCon since the beginning, we've had some sort of covers related pop released for this convention. We had ourselves the Justice League Superman pop comic covers, as well as the One Piece Nami wanted posters. And then on your own time, you can even research looking back at 2024 and 2023 and knowing that there's at least one or two covers related pops that would release for TargetCon. Plus, this would take advantage of the popularity of two specific movies, one being the recent Fantastic Four: The First Step, where Doctor Doom, from what I've heard, because I actually haven't seen the movie yet, makes a bit of a cameo appearance at the end of the movie. As well as the fact that in 2026, at the end of the year, will be the release of the Avengers Doomsday movie. And surprisingly enough, Doctor Doom has yet to get the comic book treatment for the Funko covers, so I think they could do it here as a TargetCon exclusive. And the sixth and final prediction I have for TargetCon 2026 is a red suit Buzz Lightyear from Toy Story. Now, this year in 2025 will be the 30th anniversary of Toy Story, as well as in 2026 we'll have the release of Toy Story 5. And it was a little bit upsetting not really seeing any Toy Story anniversary Comic-Con exclusives besides the tin toy for WonderCon to kick off the year. And for those that don't know, at one point Buzz Lightyear did have a red suit in the original concept of Buzz Lightyear when he was originally named Lunar Larry. And I think that's what this pop is going to be based off of, especially when they release the tin toy, which is normally a part of a Pixar shorts for the Toy Story lineup, because that character was originally going to be a part of the original Toy Story movie, but eventually made a cameo appearance. So I think they're going to kind of base it off of that. And a trend I've noticed for TargetCon in the past as well is the same as what we used to see when it came to Emerald City Comic-Con, and that's making a bunch of pops based off of the color of the logo. So in this case, it's being released because it's a red Funko Pop. And if you look at a bunch of different TargetCons from the past, there have been quite a bit of red colored Funko Pops in some sort of way, whether it's just part of the outfit or the whole entire pop. So I think because of the release of Toy Story 5 coming out, I do feel that there's going to be way more Toy Story related pops, especially for that specific movie, and I think they will dive into some of those earlier Toy Stories like they did before Toy Story 4 released. So I think this would be a pretty cool variant for a Toy Story without having to make a brand new character for a lineup that could likely be an eventual Comic-Con exclusive of some sort.